Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Concept Books, and this episode, you know, in this new work environment, I've actually learned a lot so far, bro. A lot so far that, in a big company, and that's one of the things where ideal want to reach your your ideal job. I want to reach your ideal job. Your ideal job could be a very big company. And as I said, it's hard to assimilate in a big company where basically be just one person. You have to basically prove your relevance. And you just basically you don't come into the company being this big person. You have to basically earn your spot. And there's lots of tests to reaching that spot. There's lots of tests, lots of trials. You just basically don't come in and reach that spot. You have to just basically come in and prove your worth. You have to come in and prove your worth. So that one of those things that I learned so far in this work is that um so far what I'm doing is a lot more overtime. One of the things about this work is that it's a lot more flexible in the sense that compared to the last 9 to 5 work I was doing. You're there for 8 hours and what happens is that unless it's a slow day, the whole 8 hours you're basically getting work after work after work after work after work, full in that 8 hours. What happens that with this work is that it's more flexible. So sometimes I come in early and those basically don't start until like at 10. But thing is once I start working at like 10, I don't finish that until like maybe sometime around 5 o'clock or stuff. And then what happens is that sometimes we get some shift like 8 to 4. I'm like, oh my god, 8 to 4. I'm like, hmm. But I have to work the extra hours because due to the nature of the situation, the work usually finish around 5, so I have to just stay extra hour. But the thing is that this work I could actually accommodate the fact that I'm doing overtime more. I maybe due to the fact of the experience of getting this first of this last work, going through the different phases, working night shift and all those stuff will basically make me get used to the fact of doing stuff like this. But I'm more comfortable doing overtime in this type of situation more likely, more than the last work. Um, Next thing is, as I said, this work is a lot of heavy lifting, so there's a lot of stuff that is very important. Safety gears, that are stuff like back brace where basically have to that's important. The glove I bought the gloves and I really felt the difference working with the gloves and without gloves. And it was one of those things where if you're lifting heavy stuff, getting a gloves can really help a lot. Just like a back brace, having a back brace can really help a lot. And also cutting your nails. That is something else because what happened was that I'm lifting all these stuff. And what happened was that it actually break my nails, and it's one of the worst feeling ever when you basically lifting all those stuff out, and then boom, it just breaks a nail, and you basically have to keep on working because the work has to be done. So cutting your nails, having a back brace and stuff, and wearing gloves can really help you a lot for heavy lifting. And one of the next thing in this big company, I said a lot of different people of different um, timeline and different times and stuff. I want to realize that you're coming in different situations. You're coming in different situations. So it's like stuff like helping a co-worker. There's, obviously you go there not focusing on making much friends, but you're going there focusing on your goal and your why. Because if you don't focus on your why, you get lost in the sauce. But um um the funny thing about the industry that I'm in now, one thing is that one of the concept is that if you help yourself first, then you help others. And that's one of the things. But so it's one of those situations where I would and will assist assist co-workers, but it's not we're in a position where basically detriment to myself because I'm in this field where I have responsibility that I have to look up to, and I can't always rely on a co-worker to save me and such. So I have responsibility. I can't just go there and be like, oh, person want this and be like, oh my God, let's give it this out of the kindness of my heart. No, I have responsibility of myself. So if I'm not in the position to help you, then I can't really do that. But if I'm in the position, I can actually assist you. So it's like one of those stuff where we like, in this phase now in this big company where helping a coworker is not really it's not really wrong as long as you're in the position to actually do it. But if you can't do it, make it clear. Make it clear in a big company. You have to make these things clear. Be like, I can't assist you at this moment due to this situation. And they have to understand because at the end of the day, you come to work for the money, just like they come to work for the money. And sometimes usually financial stuff that they're asking for. And you basically, if you're not in the position to do it, you can't stay up. You can't not do it because they're just like, you may come for the money and you need the money for a certain reason. If you help him and then boom, when you're down, he can't help you. If, so it's like one of those stuff. So, um, it's one of those helping a coworker is really because one of the situation I help a coworker and then another one actually helped me. But in the situation, it never feel like it was I could help. But but going passing through the situation and then realizing that okay, we have mutual respect for each other now, being so far in the company. Where we see each other, be like, okay, he respects me in a certain way, and and we can go and I can go and respect him. It good to the fact that I passed through that phase, passed through that phase. So I said, I'm a person that is really, when certain situation come, I'll be like, I really analyze situation, be like, but when I go through the situation and then we go through it, and then we'll be like, okay, I understand it now. Like, so what happened was that I lost my ID. He found it. And what happened is that if I lost the ID, I would have to pay an X amount to the company to actually get it replaced. But he said, okay, since I found it, just give me less dollars and boom, clear it. And what happened was in the situation, it was anxious because the thing about it that I said money is root of all evil. They don't know when you have these situations. Now I would not be a person that basically do that in that situation. Basically just bring it back. But you have people like that. So when in that situation came in that you can't really tell and I don't really know who actually found it. You can't really tell who you're dealing with. You just see someone come and say, oh, they found it for you. And because they found it for you, you're basically obligated to pay them because that is like it's a foreign situation. It's a foreign situation. So it's like the good thing is I basically decide the price that they gave me, the first price, I basically take it and then boom when the person say, oh, I'm the person to do it, just basically get it out of the way, pay him as early as possible and just get that situation out of the way. Because the thing about it is that, you go to work for the money, but money is a lot of evil things start from the love. The love of money is really the root of all evil. So the less you can basically deal with the transaction of people and money, the better. The better. Because as you go up in riches and stuff like that, there's as it in the slimest of stuff you'll be asked to do because everybody's in it for the money, not for the and it's up to you to be your morals will be tested a lot. Your morals will be tested a lot. Yeah. And that's where you'll be like, oh my god, we'll actually do this and stuff. So it's just one of those things where you just basically accept the first prize because in his logic was correct. His logic was correct and the logic was correct. And the fact that me just paying him save a lot of hassle of out here trying to be tough and all those stuff. Like a tough person. Come in, boom, pay the money. Because it makes sense. I was saving the money just by paying that cost instead of me going back and trying to replace it. So boom, that that was a way of him helping me. But when you're in the situation, you'll get a lot of anxiety because you really don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know, okay, if this is a start of you being dragged into something else. You don't know if the company is actually going to enforce the fact that when you're being dragged into this thing, they help you get you out. And also, you don't understand those situations. I can't, I gave you the solution, what I did for my situation, but in your situation, I can't tell you how you to react. But you have to be able to actually see those stuff and then make the best answer based on the situation. The next thing is, well, this work as a lot of heavy lifting, so what happens is that I'm losing a lot weight a lot faster, and that is good because actually I want to lose weight. But the thing about it is that the longer I keep the work, the more weight I'm losing. So I might reach my ideal body weight that I want to reach, but if I keep doing the work, I will go less and less. So what happens is that I have to eat a lot more protein to basically keep my weight. So what happens is that when I do the work, I basically maybe gain more muscles because the protein will basically give me the fat, but doing the work will basically be like exercise. So I will basically be building muscles instead of um, me out here just losing weight. I'll be instead of building muscles. And something else that I'm actually looking into make it buy more thing that increase my calcium intake because as I said your back you're having back issues and stuff. So way to increase my bone strength, having calcium and then me working outside in the sun should because the thing about calcium, you can intake calcium but you need vitamin D to actually make this to break down the calcium to make it into a strong bone and stuff. So that's something that I learned during my university degree as well. Where yeah, and something that I actually that was relevant to me in real life situation as well, where I felt, when I was starting this real world life, this adulthood life, where I said I never thought I would make it this far. As it, there's a lot of times where I'll be like, because I'm walking for so long, I never thought I would reach this far. I need that car so long. What happened was that just by me walking in the sun and stuff, my bones were being strengthened. So after a while, me walking long distance and stuff like that were really, I was able really to tolerate it. Cause that is due to one of those things was due to the bones. Yeah. I said next thing is this is a lot more flexible, way more flexible compared to the other work. So that is something. The next thing is if you work in a big company with a lot of very hazardous moving parts, very dangerous work. If you're working in a lab with a lot of dangerous chemical or yeah, work like mine where there's a lot of moving parts, lots of moving cars and all those stuff and big machinery and stuff, is important where safety is actually important. So all those safety stuff that they teach you is really as best that you can apply it in your life. Because what happened was that one thing is I have minor back issues now. And what happened was that due to the fact that I mean, where when I actually requested the back brace, I did not receive the back brace. So it could be a situation where because of that I did not receive the back brace in time. Boom, these minor back issues came because what happened was that when I actually start wearing the back brace, these minor back issues actually start decrease a lot, a lot. I still have them sometime, and I'm taking things so I'm having using some rubbing stuff, some medicine to actually get decrease it. But me wearing the back brace really decrease the back pains a lot. So yo, the safety requirements that they teach you before work, take them serious. Take them serious. Take them serious. Next thing is one thing that helped me a lot in this company reach for each one teach one. Me learning something, boom, and then um teaching it to someone else in a situation like this where I have day offs, boom, I don't really have to worry because I teach someone all the things that I know. So in my day off, when they come in, if they come in on a day off, they would have some of the information so they could actually um be able to do the task for so me can take another day off and be like, okay, I don't really have to worry about that. Them not knowing that, and then not only that, some people are more better at assimilating the company better than others, so they teach me stuff, and then me teaching stuff me I'm a person that's slow at learning, but once I learn the concept I can basically execute a lot better. Me able to actually take time to learn the concept better, when I finally get it, then I'm able to actually pass on the knowledge easier to other person. But the thing is that it's good in a company where you have fast learner to help someone like me that basically someone takes their time to actually learn the concept. But when I actually learn the concept, I actually basically apply lot a lot of the time. But yeah, and the thing is, talking to coworkers can really help passing the time. And not teaching all this other stuff, but it can be a very weird as well because what happens is that one of the weird things about, so you work in a big company, so you're my age, 27, and what happens is that you have gone through a lot of phases in your younger years. And what happens is that you see someone very younger than you, and they're talking about the same thing about the phases, talking about the same thing about the phase that you have passed out of. And then what happens that you are older, more mature, and you give them all these lessons about your based on the fact that you have to pass through that phases. But they're young and arrogant, and you realize, oh yes, I was a young and arrogant person as well. And they, boom, no matter how you basically tell them your side of it, is that they don't, they take a very um not educated understanding from the things that you said. So it's a cry on the fears, but it's not a cry on the fears in the fact that what happens is that it makes sense to give them this knowledge because in the sense it's really frustrating talking to them in the moment because they will never get it at that moment. But what happens is that the years will pass and then boom, eventually they reach my age. And then what will happen is that boom, all those lessons now that you basically imparted them, there will be a younger them that just basically come and they will understand the value of those lessons that I imparted them. And then what happens is that a younger them will come and they'll be like they'll be in the same situation I was. I'll be like, oh my god, uh now I understand. Now I understand why you always see all those stuff. The thing about it that while there's person younger, there's person older than me as well in the company. But the thing about it is that I, mature enough to understand the level of respect to say, yo, he's higher than me, so he's more older than me, so I could have valuable experience where I could actually take in the knowledge and sift through it for myself. But yeah, people younger than me that will not do that. They may not do that. They'll be like, oh, they're not taking knowledge and they have this arrogant view. So it does one of those things where each one teach one, but it can be a frustrating process as as well. And talking to the to, to, co- the, um, to coworkers can really pass time, but it's a lot of stuff.
And the next thing is, um, as this work is a lot of hazardous stuff, and as I start already have back issues. I guess this work I may actually take a lot more sick days if I keep it for a long while. Yeah, it could have a I could actually be using a lot more sick days, and it will be legit sick days. So it will not be days where I'm basically able to find out. It will be legit facts that I'm actually going out as well. And the next thing is, so it's work. You're doing a lot of physical labor and stuff. So you would actually sweat. You actually sweat, and you're working with other people. So what happens is that due to the sweat, you have your body odor. So I say your post pandemic work, all those your body odor. So you would have done your part to actually be as clean as possible, but as well, you're working here some days where you're basically doing a lot of work. And then what happens is that you're working with other people will not see the situation and be like, oh my God, this you're doing a lot of heavy lifting in a day. So you may sweat. You may sweat. So so what happens that the situation that I was in is that it's reminiscent back to days before the pandemic where you're so boom, a person come pull me over the side. I'm like, oh my God, and it's something that they pull me over the side and it's something that they want to tell me in private. And that when I say that, oh, you need to wear more deodorant and stuff because the sweat. And that one thing where like in the moment it just reminds me of the school days. Reminds me of the school days where we like ah the fact that we in the situation I realize that oh my God, this we still have people like these that exist that had the school mindset that I basically want to get away from um where I guess what happened is that in that situation I took their criticism, as valid. That I say, okay, I that was a day because I just started. I never knew I would sweat that much. Boom, became noticeable that boom, my order was getting. So going forward, I would actually put more time into making sure that I maybe carry spray deodorant spray more at work and stuff, and basically do things to uh, ensure that it's less likely that I have that order doing the work. But in a situation where I'm basically doing heavy lifting, physical labor, where in the sun, and it's like you're more like to sweat, and then the thing about it, I said, talking to coworkers, you're talking to people with experience, you're talking to people in a mindset that you're trying to get away from. You're trying to get away from, but they're in the mindset as well. So it's like one of those things where you have to take the negative, you have to take the insults, and mm, because what happens is that they will say it in such a way, and be like, you just have to just take it and be like, okay, and realize that we're just not on it. What happened was that I see what happened is that I was in this situation, and then I can sit and be like, oh my God, bro, we are on different levels. We are on different levels, and it's just one of those things where, oh my God, we are on different levels. So yeah, so that's one normal thing about work where insult and stuff will come, but you have to be a person that if you're not going to be negative, you don't want to be negative, you have to just take it and be like, but take it in certain situation. But if it's process, be like, idea what I would try, I'm going to try if it keep on persistent. So like, come here, professional, boom, you don't like me, I don't like you, based on the interaction.
No, I said, I would say that you don't really respect me that much if because the tonality be that you don't really respect me that much. It don't make no sense to out here trying to make this modern stuff. We come here, do our work, and then when we left, we just leave. That's how I basically would try to approach a situation where, if you don't respect me, just don't respect me. And back to the thing where I'm talking to the coworker as well, where basically, interacting with this coworker and realize that, all the things that I'm telling him, you're basically flying through his ears. So I realized that, this person don't not respect my words. So I basically talk to him a lot less because, he doesn't, my words are cry and the fears. So he does like, it does those situations where and go there, you analyze the situation, you just think logically. You don't want to out there go and then react emotionally, trying to out there trying to start fights and all those stuff because boom, when you lose your work, you're back to our next day and then you just basically back on the hunt again. You're back on the hunt again. But that's one of the things where you insult and people will come to test you when you're in the work. You have to just basically be level minded. To say, level minded to be like, you come to work for this reason. So you have to be able to talk to and deal with things professionally. I think about that situation like this will come. And then the other aspect, so I talk about learn about all the safety stuff in work. The other stuff as well that you learn in the training, like reporting stuff about abuse and stuff in HR. And these are situations that will happen. And then, so this is not minor case, as I said, minor criticism, but I see the situation, I see how it could escalate. And then I see it and be like, oh my God, this person come here for work to make money, but would basically try to do things basically jeopardize your work. So in another situation, if it was another person or in a different mindset, I would basically take that as an insult, be like, okay, emotional, and be like, oh my God, boom, and then so it would be a situation, and they could explain that. They could explain that out, and we can. But then, why I say this situation was different because I realized how the person is treating me the next day at work and stuff. I realized that this escalate, and then I understand a situation where boom, reporting stuff would do, but it does one of those. I don't want to do that to jeopardize the person work, but at the same time, if it persists, you have to actually set clear boundary to be like, this is how it has to go. This is how it has to go. And the thing about it is, which is a sad word, is that you reach a point in a situation where these things has to be done. Where you situation where things has to be reported. Like, oh my God, basically just did the right thing, be more professional at work. You're less likely to actually want to do that, but people intentionally try to go into that situation where they have to be getting reported for stuff, and then stuff happens, and then you wonder why it happens, not realizing it was your own doing. But on the next side, it could be me as well. So that's one of those stuff where you'd be like, oh, that's the normal stuff we deal with in a big company. Have to deal with the people, different personalities. I understand the different personalities now. And the next last two thing is that doing this work a lot of physical labor. One of the good thing is that it has water, so you have to drink a lot of water for this type of work. We're doing a lot of hard labor stuff, drinking a lot of water. Having a hot water fountain at work it was really helpful in a lot of these situations. And using the bathroom, everything use the bathroom. And well, the stuff that you know is that I actually have a lot of early working hours doing this work, and going to work extremely early in the morning is really calming,
when you're actually in the taxi and there's no traffic going to work, actually doing that, realize, oh my God, that is really something. That is really something. So it's like, yeah, those are some that basically I learned from the work so far. Where you'll be like, yo, it's a big company, a lot of different personalities. So you don't really have to just adjust, and then it's a lot of dangerous work. So you have to do things to protect yourself as well. So yeah, that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and look forward for next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.